This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions.
Welcome to The Wire Technology Edition, the week in real estate presented in digestible bites. Hold on while our AI hosts take us on another ride through this week's top real estate headlines.
Welcome back to The Wire, everyone. We've got another fascinating stack of information to dive into for you this week. All focused on the latest buzz in real estate technology. We were looking closely at recent reports from, RIS Media and Housing Wire to really get a handle on what's significant for you all.
That's right. And our goal today isn't just to list headlines. We want to, unpack the core trends, maybe pinpoint any unexpected shifts, and ultimately leave you with insights you can actually use day to day. You've told us you appreciate getting that deep understanding quickly, exploring different angles.
And those aha moments.
Exactly, those aha moments. So that's what we're aiming for as we unpack these developments.
Okay, awesome. So let's jump in. First up is something that, it might seem like it's more about policy than tech at first glance.
Okay.
But trust me, it's got some serious implications for the technology you're using every single day.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the ongoing discussion around the National Association of Realtors Clear Cooperation Policy, CCP. Ryan Tepfer, he's the CEO of PropStream. He laid out a really compelling argument in RIS Media about why this matters so much to tech vendors specifically.
Yeah, and what's really interesting about Tepfer's take is how he kind of shifts the focus, right? Mm-hmm. We often hear about CCP and its impact on agents, maybe fair access for consumers. But he makes this strong case that it's actually fundamental for the technical infrastructure, the stuff running underneath everything you do.
Exactly, like an unsung hero for your tech tool's stability.
Yeah, precisely.
He basically says, look, without CCP, we could potentially go back to a really fragmented data landscape.
Fragmented.
Imagine different brokerages just holding back listings from the MLS, and so they wouldn't flow into those crucial IDX feeds.
Right, the Internet Data Exchange.
Or the VOW, the virtual office website feeds that so many platforms rely on. That sounds like, just chaos for tech companies trying to build useful tools.
Oh, it really does. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, Tepfer points to the vital work of RISO. That's the Real Estate Standards Organization.
RISO.
Yeah, RISO is all about creating one single standard for how MLS data is accessed. And Tepfer's argument is that CCP is actually a key support for this standardization effort.
How so?
Well, it pushes towards a more, let's say, fair and equitable distribution of listing data. Without it, tech vendors could be stuck trying to piece together data from all over, different formats, different rules, a massive headache.
Yeah, huge hurdle. And just think about the practical problems for agents, right? Unreliable data for your CMAs.
Oh, yeah.
Incomplete property histories, maybe. And the hassle of needing, multiple platform subscriptions just to see the whole market.
That's a huge step backwards.
Yeah.
Definitely less efficient. And it could even potentially lead to more misinformation floating around for agents and consumers.
Yeah, exactly.
And this leads to a really important question Tepfer brings up. Do all brokers, especially, the smaller ones, the boutique firms, do they have the technical know-how, the budget, to actually host their own data platforms and manage all that infrastructure if CCP wasn't there?
That's a really good point. Its absence could really widen the gap, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Between the big players with tech resources and the smaller shops.
Sure. It could exacerbate those disparities.
So the core insight here, the thing that really stuck with me, is that while all the talk around CCP is often about agents and buyers, its deep impact on the tech infrastructure underneath is just undeniable. It's the foundation for consistent, reliable data.
The plumbing, basically.
Yeah. It's like the plumbing of the internet for real estate data. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that fuels the innovation in the tools you use.
Okay, so building on that foundation of data, let's maybe shift gears a bit. Let's look at how buyers actually interact with listings. That seems to be evolving too.
Yes.
Housing Wire had an exclusive report this week on Douglas Elliman. They launched something called Elliman Inspirations.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating move into using visual AI for property search. It kind of hints at a potentially big change in how people explore properties online.
Yeah, this one really caught my eye, too. Instead of just typing keywords like 4 bedrooms, fireplace.
Right, the usual stuff.
Users can actually upload pictures of specific things they want in a home. maybe a certain kind of kitchen island or a specific pool style.
And the AI finds matches based on the image.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The AI finds listings that have those visual elements. It's almost like, using Pinterest to search for a house.
It really is. And the reasoning behind it, explained in the Housing Wire piece, is pretty insightful. They use this great analogy. Think about getting a haircut.
Okay.
You probably have a visual idea, maybe even photos saved on your phone, right? Rather than trying to describe it perfectly in words.
That's so true. Yeah.
The article argues the same applies to homes, especially in the luxury market. Buyers often have these very specific aesthetic tastes that are just hard to put into text search boxes.
Totally resonates. We all know about dream home vision boards. They're a real thing. So this tech lets buyers kind of create those vision boards right on the brokerage site and find matching homes. It could grab their interest much earlier, even before they're actively searching with keywords.
It definitely caters to that visual buyer, the one with very specific tastes.
Yeah. And thinking bigger picture, what are the implications here for agent strategies?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Could visual search become like a standard expectation?
Yeah.
Especially at the higher end.
Yeah.
And how does that change the way you present listings?
Yeah.
The quality and style of your photos become even more critical.
Absolutely. Douglas Elliman also launched something called World of Elliman, right? A digital lifestyle publication.
Yeah, that suggests a broader strategy, using aspirational visual content to pull people in, create that connection. It's all about the visual.
And it's probably not just for luxury, right?
Yeah.
The article hinted that, the general public might use tools like this just for inspiration.
Right, browsing for ideas.
And maybe even journalists or influencers could use it to find visually stunning properties, things that might go viral.
That's an interesting angle. It could definitely change how certain listings get visibility and buzz.
Yeah, it really could shift things.
It definitely underscores the rising importance of top-notch photography and videography. If buyers are starting searches with images.
Your visuals have to stand out.
Exactly. Not just good, but like truly showcasing the unique character of the property.
Okay, so we've talked data foundations, evolving search. Now let's turn to some of the strategic moves and partnerships happening in the prop tech world itself.
Right, the business side of things.
We saw news from both RIS Media and Housing Wire on acquisitions, new products, key hires.
And what's noteworthy is how interconnected a lot of this seems. It really paints a picture of a dynamic, competitive space. Companies are constantly jockeying for position.
Definitely. Take the acquisition of Collabra Technologies. AdXX, Inc. bought them.
Okay, Collabra, they do digital marketing tied into MLSs.
Right. And AdX is this AI-powered micro-ad startup. It sounds like AdX sees Collabra's real estate connections as a way to push their AI tech into maybe other industries too.
Interesting. Leverage that footprint.
Yeah. And the leadership changes there are worth noting too. Russ Cafano, the CEO, is leaving.
Right. And Margot Fraker, the COO, is stepping up to lead the B2B side, supported by Adam Contos,
the former Remax CEO.
Exactly. That signals potentially a shift in strategy for Collabra under the new ownership.
Makes you wonder where they'll focus now.
It does. Meanwhile, you've got Lofty launching Lofty Bloom.
Ah, yes. The automated lead gen product.
Yeah, combining direct mail, digital retargeting, AI follow-up, and they're promising guaranteed exclusivity by ZIP code.
Wow. That really highlights the intense focus on giving agents these comprehensive lead gen solutions. It's still a huge priority.
No kidding. And then on the brokerage side, we saw Home Services of America adopting Zillow Showcase.
Right. Zillow's fancy listing product, immersive visuals, interactive floor plans, and Zillow's claiming these listings get way more views, sell faster, higher prices.
Which suggests that even the big established brokerages are really recognizing the power of those visually rich online presentations. It's not just hype.
Seems like it. And then one more personnel move, York Barr.
Former CEO of MoxieWorks. Big name.
He's joined the advisory board of Mavericks Advisory Group. They're a consultancy focusing on prop tech and brokerage strategy.
Okay, so bringing his experience in scaling prop tech platforms to a consultancy.
Yeah, it suggests maybe a further professionalization, more sophisticated strategic thinking across the industry.
All these moves together, the M&A, the product launches, the strategic hires, they really show a prop tech market that's just constantly churning, isn't it?
Absolutely. Companies fighting for market share and the traditional players increasingly adopting these advanced tools.
Yeah, it's a dynamic space for sure.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. As we sifted through all this, what was one surprising insight for you? Something that maybe doesn't get talked about enough?
For me, I think it goes back to that first point. The the often overlooked but really critical role of the Clear Cooperation Policy, the CCP, in just maintaining a stable, standardized data environment for all this real estate tech, like Brian Tepfer laid out. The public debate focuses on agents and consumers, mostly.
Right.
But the potential domino effect if it wasn't there, the fallout on the actual tech ecosystem you rely on, that's significant, and it probably deserves more attention.
Yeah, it's like that unseen foundation again. You don't notice it until it's potentially gone.
Exactly. Makes so much of the innovation possible.
So true. It's almost invisible until you imagine the alternative, that fragmented, messy landscape where tech innovation just gets bogged down.
Right. Inconsistent, unreliable data access, not good.
Okay, so if we had to boil all this down, what's the key takeaway for our listeners this week?
Key takeaway.
I think, for me, the big picture is that real estate tech isn't just about the flashy new features, you know?
Right, not just the shiny objects.
It's deeply rooted in fundamental stuff like data standards.
Right.
And we're seeing these really interesting, potentially game-changing shifts in core functions, like property search with visual AI. So staying informed about both those foundational shifts and the strategic moves happening among the tech companies, that seems crucial for navigating what's next.
I think that's a great summary. It's recognizing that the cool new tools are built on this sometimes invisible but vital infrastructure.
Yeah.
And that these emerging trends, like visual search, could really change how buyers and sellers connect down the line. Keeping an eye on both the big strategic picture and the sort of underlying mechanics that gives you an edge.
Well said. So as you all continue navigating the exciting, sometimes complex world of real estate tech, keep these things in mind. The stability of data, the potential of visual search, the strategic shuffling, they're all key pieces of the puzzle. We really hope this deep dive gave you some valuable perspective, maybe a few of those aha moments.
Yeah, hopefully.
So what stands out most to you from all this? Would encourage you to think about how these trends might impact your own business, maybe spark some further digging on your end.
Definitely worth pondering.
Thanks so much for joining us on The Wire.
If you're interested in your own personalized edition of The Wire, please visit us at thewire.fm/custom. We offer market-specific podcasts with all the latest real estate news and market analysis delivered to you weekly or monthly. Own your market with a personalized edition of The Wire, the week in real estate. Thank you for listening.